Hello, in this video I'm going to add another role to the Trials team uh, build setups that I have currently started on my channel. I have the main and off tank videos on my Trials playlist, so please check that out if you haven't seen them and you're curious about the roles that go with this character here. I also have the healers in there as well, and now here's the first support DPS role. This is the Power of Zen build. Now, from the name you can probably guess what I'm wearing. Powerful Assault on the body, and Zen's Redress on the jewelry and the front bar, with a back bar, Maelstrom, Inferno. Um, all medium Divine's armor, except for the Spalter is light, obviously. Stamina glyphs on the body, um, weapon damage glyphs on the jewelry, bloodthirsty jewelry. This is the only build in the entire team that I have to kind of do a little bit of weird stuff with in order to get the penetration up on par with the other members. So I have to have a sharpened mace on the back bar, and I am running the Lover Mundus on here just to get my penetration up, because I have to keep 2 of the Dragonite skill lines on here, and then I added in the Warden's Animal Companions skill line because they have 2 Zen dots in their skill line. There's not really another skill line that adds Zen dots, so this is a Zen build, so that's why I have this set up this way. The Dragonite is really good at running Zen, so I have this set up pretty well for that. I've got the Venomous Claw, the Bugs, Engulfing Flames. I'm also running Ingenious Weapons. Stone Giant is my spammable on here, so that's going to stay up rather easily. You have to hit this twice every 15 seconds to keep Powerful Assault up on your group. It's really not that difficult to run that. This is a fiery burst dot that gives me Major Savagery every 10 seconds, so I have to hit this every 10, even though the flame dot lasts 20, in order to keep the Major Savagery buff up. I could have slotted Flames of Oblivion there, but then this is another Zen dot option. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 Zen dots there. This can be a Zen dot as well if you can get it to hit the enemy, but this kind of helps get a group. If you're running on a group, you just have to light attack them all to get the touches in on them, is all. Flawless Dawnbreaker on the front bar, Standard of Might on the back bar. So let's get into the CP real quick here. I'm running Fighting Finesse, Biting Aura, Thermatog, and Exploiter. And then I always run these 2 up here. And as a DPS, you should be rezzing people, so do this here. And then I am on a stamina build, so I've got Bloody Renewal slotted for that. Let's see. Just go over this character sheet here. As you can see, my penetration is up at 9,000. That's really good for the subclassing, because a lot of your tanks are not going to be bringing a whole lot of pen anymore, because most builds are going to be running right around 9,000 pen without even trying to build into that with all the extra penetration everybody has. So that's why I had to pump this up a little bit so that he's not falling behind too bad on that. But just to show you what this looks like buffed up character sheet wise, get my Get my stuff all buffed up there. So I've got just around 7,000 damage there when it's fully popped up. Mag recovery's pretty good, which is good because there's quite a few mag skills on here. Stam recovery's not super important on this because I've got a big stamina bar, so it doesn't drain too bad. With the Dragonite recoveries, it's pretty easy to sustain this. Yeah, but this critical chance will go up as well in content when you have Nightblade DPS hitting their crit chance increase over here on this line. Plus this gives me more, so there. So you can add another. So I'm a little bit low on the crit chance rating, but this is a support DPS role, so it's not really a heavy hitter. This is kind of in terms of its own damage, but the amount of damage that this buffs the group is crazy. So I'll go over that real quick just so you can kind of get an idea. Just from the sets, for example, you get 260 weapon damage from here, 307 from here, so that's 567 total just from those two. Then the stagger buff that I get on this, there's 195 more weapon damage if you can keep 3 stacks, which is really not that hard to do on this. So I mean, it's well over 700 damage. Then I'm providing the entire group major brutality and sorcery and the engulfing flames buff to increase fire damage. So there's a lot of group buffs here in this build that you can just kind of crunch into one roll and not have to spread it across multiple things. You can really tighten up your setup here and get a lot of DPS to where they can be full damage with a lot of buffs that actually are not present on this dummy here. For example, Powerful Assault and Spalder of Ruin and Touch of Zins. None of those are on this dummy. So this guy right here is going to help your DPS hit harder than they can actually hit on this dummy. So check out this build, try it out. You're going to notice a huge difference in how hard your DPS hit once they're sitting at full crit cap and the penetration is taken care of. You drop this in group, you're going to notice a massive increase in damage to your team. Very, very big addition that you can add to your trials team, and it's really pretty simple to run. You're basically just focusing on proccing 2 things. You're keeping your Zen dots up, which is pretty simple, and then once you have everything running, you just get your stagger going and you just keep that, and it's really pretty simple to run. Food that I'm running is a little different than normal. I'm running the Candied Gestured Skulls, and that's because it gives me a big stamina bar, but it keeps my mag recovery up. Dragon Knight toolkit, they use quite a bit of mag, so even if you're on a stam build, you kind of have to use a cockeyed food a little bit, so that it gives you a max stat and then a recoveries in the other pool. The opposite, if you're curious, if you're ever on a mag build, do you want stam recovery? Crunchy Spider Skewers is kind of the yin and yang version, but for stamina builds that need mag, this is the go-to for me. That's a good food in those instances. A lot of the skills on here are it's kind of an even balance, but you need to have some mag recovery to sustain the ingenious weapons and the fetcher and the blockade of fire. So that's going to be my build for this. Check out my other videos if you haven't on my channel. The playlists are on there. Go to my channel and look at the playlists. And we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.